EIGRP summary routes and security. One of the things I love about EIGRP is how easy it is to summarize routes. Compared to OSPF with your areas and boundary routers, it's just, with EIGRP you can go under any interface that you want to and inject a summary route. Like, take a look at this backbone router on the corporate network. All these networks are like, summarize me, please. They're just dying to be summarized. All I've got to do is go under these interfaces and say, here's the summary route I want to send, and I'm done. The hard part, if there really is one, is figuring out what the summary address is. And here's how I do that. I look at these networks and I go, okay, /24 as a binary number is going to be a whole bunch of ones, 24 ones, right? 1, 1, 1, done. And then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's a /24. The increment that we would use is take that lowest binary digit converted back to a decimal. That's a 1, right? And that's why /24, every single one of these, I'm adding 1, 1, 1, 1, is a network individually. Well, if I back that out, what do I get? I do a /23, and I go, okay, well, that would be 1, 1, 1, you know, a whole bunch, 23 ones, down to 0.000000000, right? So if I have this kind of subnet mask, then my increment is a what? This lowest binary digit is a 2. So if I were to use that, I would have 172.16. I'm too geared to that. 30.0.0.2.0.4.0. These would be my networks, right? 6.0. So I'm using 2. So if I were to fill in the end range, this would go through 172.30.1. I don't know why my pen's doing that. 1.255. Right, I'm writing too small. So so I'm like, okay, well, that's sweet. So I could actually do summary routes with /23 mask, and I would actually cut my routing table down by half, because I could group those out, or maybe a little less than half, because each one of these would be a summary route. You see kind of how I'm doing this, right? So keep that logic going. Where am I going with this? A /22 would be 1, 1, 0, 0, dot, and then all these zeros, right? So the lowest digit there would be a 4. Come on, you got to be awesome with your binary to decimal conversions by now. So my increment would be 4, so I'm like, okay, sweet. So if I use that, I could use increments of 4. That'd be 172.30.0.0.4.0.8, right? So this would go through 172.30. You see how I'm doing this, right? 3.255. My pen is like, are you seeing this thing? It's like connecting these. It's like, I want to connect the dots. I don't know why it's doing that. So anyway, I've got this one network right here. So I could say, okay, well, I could take this and actually summarize 0 through 3 as one advertisement. 4 through 7 as another advertisement. You got to remember, you're always counting from 0 with this thing. So you see where I'm going with this. /21. This has got to be the winning mask. Why? Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 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 1, 0, 0, 0, dot, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that would be the decimal version of that subnet mask. This is my increment, which is a what? 8, right? So if I have an 8 as an increment, it would actually be 172.30.0.0. The next one would be 172.30.8.0.16.0. Like this is the kind of networks I would get if I used a /21 mask. So okay, check this out. This one actually goes through 172.30.7.255. So I could actually group all of these, bam, in a single network advertisement. What would it be? 172.30. Nope, did you see it jump? 100, no, 100, 0.0/21. That would be my one summary route, which would actually encompass all of these. Now, I know some of you are perfectionists like me, and you're like, dude, what about that one? Well, you have a choice. You have a choice. You could drop this down to a /20, right? Your increment then would be a what? 16, right? Without writing all that out. So you could actually have a summary route 172.30.0.0/20, which would actually be 172.30.0 through 15.255, right? As a quick notation of the range. Now that would include a whole bunch of networks that aren't actually at the corporate network, so you have a choice. You can either create a summary route of a /21, which sums up 8 of them and leaves this guy hanging out, or you could do a /20, which summarizes them all into one advertisement, but then summarizes networks that you don't really have over here. If it were me, I'd do the first one. I'd do a /21 and just send this as an individual advertisement, because we're still getting the savings as of there. But again, it's all based on your network requirements. I put that 8 in there just for this conversation. So let's do it. As we get into this configuration, there's something really important I want to show you. So take a look. I've got the backbone router over here sitting there. Actually, before we go there, I want to go to, let's go router 3, right? Just verify that EIGRP is absolutely up and running. I'll do a show IP EIGRP neighbors. He's got 2 neighbors, one going out this fast Ethernet interface right here, fast Ethernet 0/0, and then his other neighbor is going out serial 0/0. Notice I'm kind of labeling a couple interfaces just to make sure I've got them here. I'll do a show IP route, and I see all of these individual routes going on here. And they're all going out serial 0/0, right? So all these specific routes, it's going out this direction again, and that makes sense. That's what I'd like to see. So I'm going to go to the black. Why do I say black? The backbone router. I'm going to do a let's do a show IP EIGRP neighbors. Okay. So my 34, it looks like 34.2. So this is actually serial 0/1. Right? So the reason I wanted to notate those interfaces is because you actually configure the summary commands from the interface itself. I'm going to do interface serial 0/1, and I'm going to type in IP summary address, and then we type EIGRP autonomous system 10. And then what summary address do you want to use? I'm going to use 172.30.0.0. And it's saying I need the decimal version of the mask. So /21, what is that? That's 248. Right? /21, 248, 240. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, it's right. So it resets the neighbor relationship, it's doing, I should say, not a reset, but a resync of the neighbor relationship. So I should be able to go to router 3 now and see the summary route in action. Check this out. This is the really important thing I wanted you to catch. Look at what happened here. We got our summary route. Awesome. It's awesome. I see the summary route, but what's wrong with this picture? All the specific routes are still there, but wait, why? Look at where router 3 is going. Think about that for a second. Router 3 is now going it's saying, these are my preferred routes. Okay, so let me sum this up. Here's the fact. We've got our summary route now. It's not even being used. Why? Because when it comes to routing, the more specific subnet mask always wins. So router 3 is actually now going to take a less efficient route because router 2 doesn't have that. We didn't go and advertise a summary over here. So he's getting all the more specific ones. He's like, hey, dude, I've got all these /24s. Why don't you come to me? Router 3 is like, ooh, /24, much better than my /21. So I'm abandoning my better route, at least bandwidth-wise, in favor of this 128K link because he's got the more specific routes. Oh, such a big point. So we've got to make sure that I go under, that was serial 0/1, so I'm going to go 0/0, do that same command, right? Now, let's head back over to router 3, see what the result is. Whoo, Nelly. Look at that. So we've got 172.30.0.0, there's our summary route. All the more specific ones have disappeared because router 2 is like, I've got the down low here, and now if take a look at router 2, show IP route. Router 2 is like, hey, I've got the summary route. Matter of fact, I'm going out fast Ethernet 0/0 to get to those networks. Why? Because this is actually a better route than this 128K link. You got 256K over here. I'm going with you, router 3. Right? Now you notice as well, this little dangling guy is still out there. And that's because I chose to do the summary, which just encompass the core of the network, not this little individual route. We could, you know what? Let's just do it because we can. I'm going to go to, let's drop it back one level. Go under serial 0/1, drop back one level. And we should see now this little guy disappear. I'm like, we do. The old summary route is still hanging out there. It'll expire after a amount of time. But you can see the 8 network went away because we're now suppressing it under this larger advertisement. That, my friends, is how you set up EIGRP summary routes. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.